I thoroughly enjoyed watching the French Open final between Alcaraz and Zverev, and today I want to unpack the number one lesson that that match brought to mind for me and really bring it home so that all of us can learn from it and continue to develop as competitors and be more mentally tough and play our best tennis when it really matters the most. It brought to mind for me this little kind of humorous infographic. And basically this shows like 3 different ways that we can go about trying to be successful. I think we tend to think that life hopefully is going to work like this, where we have a goal we're trying to achieve. Maybe it's winning a tennis match. Maybe it's getting a promotion at work. Maybe it's getting married or having some relational, success in your relationships. Whatever it is, I think we tend to think that once we set off on the path and we really apply ourselves, that there's just going to be a straight line between where we're starting and success. Now, more frequently than not, this kind of is what life looks like. There's ups, there's downs, we get thrown curveballs, there's obstacles that we had no idea were going to be there. There's things that trip us up that weren't even on our radar at all. And this is how tennis matches go. I was going to say even at, but I would almost say especially at the highest levels of the game, you're playing against another world-class athlete that has a world-class toolkit, that has world-class, not always, but frequently, mental toughness and world-class conditioning and training and preparation, like physically, right? So there's going to be naturally these ups and downs on the way to hopefully success. Like, of course, it's never guaranteed, but as you watch players like Alcaraz and Zverev struggle and fight and have ups and downs and momentum, what really struck me yesterday was like, think about the different pockets where each player could have just totally gone away. Like, think about Zverev, and some spoilers here, okay? So like, if you haven't watched the match yet, you want to watch it, then don't watch the rest of this video. Did you watch the beginning of the match? Zverev, in his second ever Grand Slam final, double faults twice in a row to open the match. Think about that for a second. Can you imagine being a professional athlete, having played professional tennis for years and years, having just for the second time ever get to this biggest stage in the whole game, having come out of a period where he's struggled with his serve, he's kind of had the yips with it, he's had tons of double faults, he's worked at it, obviously, gotten better at it. Can you imagine putting in all that effort? And of course, it's going to be somewhere in the back of his mind, I hope I don't have a bad serving day, right? Can you imagine coming out of the gate and missing 4, actually 5, he had a let too, missing the first 5 serves in a row and then getting broken? That was the opening for Zverev. Like, for normal people like us, it wouldn't be inconceivable for us to come out of the gate and be like, have a high, like walking out there, have like the warm up and feel like, oh man, everything is feeling great. Double fault twice in a row and just go like this and just totally nosedive, right? And go into a total negative spiral. But he didn't do that. And sure, he lost the first set, but he came back and he won the second set. And that's the other one I want to talk about. Alcaraz comes out playing great. Looks like potentially he's just going to steamroll Zverev. And then he has like a window of like, I don't know what you want to call it, a lapse or like a funk, or he was just off for a solid 10, 15, 20 minutes in the second set. And Zverev won that set relatively routinely. It could be very easy for Alcaraz to get to that point in the match and just do this, right? And I think the perspective of expecting this kind of experience, like expecting the ups and expecting the downs, is super critical. Now, this third one here, just kind of humorous, kind of a joke, but have you ever played a tennis match that feels like this? And it's just like, it's not even like up and down, it's just like random, like from point to point, it just feels like you're way out in left field. You have no control, or it's almost like you have no impact on your skills or your timing or your strokes or like your patterns, and you're just like hitting random shots and getting random results, and like, who knows? I mean, it's possible to win a match that way, but it's almost like an accident, right? Ever walk off the court and be like, man, I don't know how the heck I won that match. I literally couldn't even tell you, but somehow I won it. Those we want to avoid, okay? Like, we don't want to just be hitting random shots. There should be some structure. There should be some plan. But If we walk out to a match expecting anything remotely like this, the first time we get thrown a curveball and we swing and miss, like maybe even literally, like swing and miss, and it's like, oh crap, now what if? Like if the what ifs start to fill our head, instead of viewing it as just like a normal part of the hero's journey. Ever heard that phrase relative to like storytelling and like writing, like script writing, book writing? They're naturally in life. Like we want there to be some kind of obstacle, some kind of struggle, some kind of mountain that the hero has to climb over, like figuratively or maybe even literally. And that is how tennis and life is, frankly, like most satisfying. We have our ups and downs and we problem solve it in real time. And that's why we love sports. And that's why matches like yesterday's are so amazing to witness, because we get to see two athletes doing this and going up and down and up and down. And over a 3-hour period, see them navigate. Alcaraz had multiple pockets like that. He had another one in the third set. He had one in the fifth set where it looked like maybe Zverev was going to come back and like kind of get his bearings again towards the end of the match. So Alcaraz, sure, he won it, and sure, he was the better athlete that day, he was the better player that day, but it's because he was able to navigate those ups and downs. So what I am reminding myself of in making this video, and hopefully helping you remember as well, is we need to have an expectation that there will be speed bumps, there will be obstacles. And rather than feel like, oh no, what's wrong, view it through the lens of, awesome. Like I get to grow as an athlete, as a tennis player, as a human right now. And this is just day-to-day life, right? Just going to the grocery store. There's going to be things that are in our way, that annoy us, that frustrate us. And how we view those things and the way that we approach those challenges in day-to-day life is going to say a lot about our quality of living, our level of happiness, our level of fulfillment. And I think this is critical for tennis too. And I loved watching Zverev and Alcaraz navigate that yesterday. Hopefully you got to see the match too, and you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Hope this is helpful. Try to apply this to your tennis, and I know you're going to have more success and be more happy. Take care.